the title of the presentation is The Art and Science of Actuarial Work, and it really is a combination of art and science. I've got an agenda here, and I always start out with, how did I skip that? With bad actuarial jokes, and then I go to the definition of actuarial soundness. Before I get to my bad actuarial jokes, I want to make sure that we sort of lay some expectations. After the presentation, you're going to be able to understand how rates are developed at the highest level, meaning the capitation rate between the state and the contracted entity, and also how that rate setting process is used in the different steps within the healthcare delivery system. How people evaluate financial risk, how they use it to estimate financial liability, and when you're developing rates from the bottom up, what the purpose of that rate development process is and how you can apply it in your everyday jobs. The other thing that we want to make sure, if we can, as we're going through this, is ask me questions about how other states are doing this. One of the advantages of an outside consultant, besides having someone that you can blame, you know, there's 7 reasons why you hire a consultant, and one of them is blame, is they have the ability to work between and among different states. And so ask me what some other states are doing. So my first caveat is I'm not a comedian, nor am I an actuary, so these are going to be bad actuarial jokes, okay? So how can you tell an extroverted actuary? Anyone know this? When they're talking to you, they're looking at your shoes, not their own. Okay. The second one is, there was an actuary, and she's sitting at her desk, and all of a sudden she feels a heart attack come on. So she hurries, gets up, runs to the stairwell, and flings herself down the stairwell. Why did she do that? Because she thought about it. She said, what are the odds of having a heart attack and falling down a stairwell at the same time? I said they were bad. Okay. One of my favorite quotes up there at the top. I know it when I see it. One of the things that I want you to get out of today's presentation is there is no magic to the phrase actuarially sound capitation rates. You should challenge everything that you were provided as part of an actuarially sound rate setting process. And the reason you should challenge it is any actuary worth their salt is welcoming the feedback that you provide them, because they only have the ability to look at data in order to describe the risk of a healthcare program. What you have is the ability to bring the individual service level expertise, the boots on the ground, the day-to-day information. That's the critical information for setting actuarially sound capitation rates. But you'll notice that's nowhere within this definition. In fact, if I took 6 actuaries and I put them in a room and I said to them, each one of you, and I hand you a piece of paper, I want you to write down what's the definition of actuarial soundness. You can't ask your neighbor, no collaboration. I did 6 different definitions. And because actuarial soundness, while it's guided by these principles, has a tremendous amount of leeway and assumptions involved in it. That's not a bad thing. I want to be really clear about that. You need that leeway. You do not want capitation rates to be set on a formulaic basis, because if that's the case, it won't work. In fact, you should look at the actuarially sound rate setting process as a management tool for you. It is information you can use to help you look at what the financial expectations are of the program and your role within that program. A lot of dense language in here about how an actuary goes about the process of setting rates. Not all that helpful in terms of informing the process.